it's me, then you. Hi, everybody.
There. How you doing? You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on tequilaaficionado.com, part of Tequila Aficionado Media. I'm Alex Perez in Southern California, and that gentleman over there is...
I am Mike Morales here, also in Southern California. We're actually in the same
Yeah.
time zone. We haven't been in the same time zone for a while, so we better take advantage of it while we can. Alex, I know that for the last couple of years, you have been asking and pleading for Raicilla because we fell in love with Estancia like 3 years ago, Estancia
Yeah.
Raicilla, something even longer than that. I think it was like 5 years. They were the first ones to submit a Raicilla to us on Sipping Off the Cuff. Since then, last year, 2020, we received Raicilla de Una, and that was the only entry for our Raicilla. This year we have a new one, and I've been chasing these guys. I didn't think I'd ever be able to get it. This is Balam Raicilla. Balam. This is the flavor profiles on this brand have been legendary, and
Nice.
I guess the bottler and I'm going to assume he's the importer as well. Noticed that we what we were doing, and he anxiously got a hold of us, and I said, "You're kidding me! You're going to send us the bottles?" And oh my goodness, they moved heaven and earth to get these to us. By the way,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm going to flip this over, and
I saw those bubbles.
yeah, as usual, what we're going to do is we're going to taste the juice, then we're going to tell you all the stats and stories. Okay, I'm going to use my Stazzo Jarrito that we normally use for mezcal because this is a high proof, boys and girls. Oh boy.
I'm
Oh
using
boy.
my Cannon.
So here we go. And oh my goodness.
Now this is 47% alcohol.
Yes. And we'll even show you the Maestro Raiciero. I guess that's the pronunciation. I'll get it right.
Yeah, so
we don't normally say it.
proof.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh my goodness. There's a
snake in my boots.
Yeah. You know, there's a bright fruitiness to it.
Yeah.
But there's something heavier underneath it.
Well, it is clear. It's a little shiny.
And the legs and tears are
wow.
thick. This is the wow. They are taking their own sweet time on the glass here to just come on down. Come on down. Yeah. I mean, holy cats.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's got a beautiful platinum color.
Yeah, it's pure. It really is pure. And as we go along, as I said, we'll tell you the stats and stories, but we're trying to let it open up because we just got these the other day, Alex and I, and
really?
It's rare for us to really get to taste something right away because most of the time it sits for a couple of weeks. But as luck would have it, wow, what are we getting?
Who knows? I'm getting it's a lot of earthy tones.
Okay.
Right, I'm getting grassy. So maybe some clay. And some fruit. You're getting some fruity notes, right?
I got some fruity notes. I got fruity notes on the top, and you're getting more of the earthy notes. And there's actually where I'm getting alcohol as well, which is okay. It's all right. You're going to expect that with something this. It smells rustico.
Yeah,
ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen.
I'm getting like citrus notes and maybe even aromas of wood, kind of like wet wood.
Okay, I get it. These have not been aged. There is an aged version that we're going to taste later on in one of our other episodes.
And get a floral like wildflowers or something. Wow.
Boy, there's a whole garden in here.
There's it's a secret garden.
It's a secret garden.
So Raicillas are different, Mike. Different from tequila, different from mezcal.
It does have its denomination of origin. I believe it just received it in July of 2019. So it's fairly recent. and they haven't even the Normas haven't even, as I understand it, they haven't even been finished writing all of it because it's you know, it's very specific to the municipalities and areas of Jalisco. They can make it from several different plants. This one's a rhodocantha. I think the one that you and I had was a Maximiliano, wasn't it? Estancia
I
or
think so, yeah.
yeah. So there, the Normas will explain which plants you can use. They can even make it from uh, um, agave, the same mezcal that you get. They sometimes in the Bacanoras they call it agave pacifica, but it's a uh, agave americana, I believe.
Mm.
So
Yeah, so this is
this one,
coming out of what is it, southwestern part of Jalisco.
yeah. Well, it's but
Um,
there's I'm not getting any smoke. Are you getting any smoke? I'm
no,
not getting any.
to me, it's more wood notes, or like I said, wet. It's kind of like wet wood notes,
Okay.
if that makes any sense.
Well, I
It's
think
pleasurable though. It's a beautiful scent.
yeah, yeah. It's not like a musty smell. It's
Right,
more
right.
yeah. It's more I
And
guess
really high
some
citrus too.
yeah.
So this is a cousin of tequila and mezcal. I guess they've been distilling Raicilla for about 300 years. Or
Yeah,
more.
yeah. There's a definite history of Raicilla, more up in the, I guess more in the mountain areas, more in the hills.
Yeah,
Uh,
this used to be, I guess, the original moonshine.
yeah, yep, original moonshine.
I remember when this stuff was illegal, and some of the times I went over to Mexico.
Yeah, well, you were one of the
I was
first
on the side of the
ones.
road when I saw you the some Raicilla.
Yeah, and it was moonshine.
Yeah,
Well, I want to dive in.
let's do it.
We dissected as much as we can here.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Oh, those wood notes.
you get them now.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's like a wow. This is like a cliche. It's the it's woody because the plant's older, I believe, and there's the
Wow.
even the plant itself has around the pina, around the core that they're using. Wow, that it's like agave paper.
Wow.
It's like a paper wood notes. Um, wow, and it's not as aggressive as I thought it would be. Because
It's
Raicilla de Una was aggressive.
Yeah, it's
I
actually,
recall.
but it's substantial though. It's got several layers.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that paper, that is a beautiful.
Yeah,
That is, I wasn't getting it in the nose, but I certainly got it in the retronasal and the
yeah,
entry.
it's
We
beautiful.
got pepper too. Did you get that explosion of
I
pepper on the
did,
entry?
yes, most definitely. Now, I don't know if this is right, but apparently this is a Solera style raicilla.
Okay.
So
And
they're
if
taking they're
so,
taking older they're taking older raicilla and mixing it with the new.
it's interesting that they're calling it Solera instead of blending, because
Yeah,
Solera, when you hear Solera, that usually you hear that with sherry, with Jerez, and rum, and they do that with sherry, but it's usually because of the barrels. So they have like a 15-year-old aged uh, sherry barrel, and they mix it in with, they blend it. I mean, in I guess in whiskey and Scotch they call it a blend, or Canadian whiskey you call it a blend, but using a Solera method is a little bit different. It's interesting that they're calling this Solera because it's not really aged. It's not aged at all.
you know what? I might be wrong, Mike. I'm looking. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to understand their POS.
Right. The POS
I
and the
guess I'm reading
labeling.
Madurado de la Costa, not just the Costa. Forgive me.
Yeah.
So Madurado would be aged.
Okay.
So scratch that. We'll have to get back to that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess they only send us information on their aged product. But hey,
Well, I'm. This is beautiful. I like
this
the,
is-
but there's still, regardless of whether it's the aged version or not. or the blended version, there's this paper quality to it. And I don't want it. It's not wet cement. Okay, this is like a wood, like a plant wood. Um,
Almost
and
like cane. It's like a cane.
yeah, like caña. Um, I guess at this point it's just worth it for us to read what we've got. I'll read the label, okay? Because
It's like an aguardiente.
yeah, but it's very subtle and it's got a nice lingering finish. And the attack, it's not aggressive. As Alex mentioned, it's a 100% agave. They call it agave chico aguiar. Okay, that's the local name.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, as you can see on the label. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, the master distiller, Maestro Raicero. Am I pronouncing that correctly,
Yeah.
Alex?
Yeah.
His name is Rosalio Rodriguez, and they have a nickname for Rosalio. And it's the state of Jalisco, the town of El Tuito. Okay, the maguey, they call it Chico Aguiar. Fermentation is open. It is wild yeast, and the oven. I guess they're roasting this in conical pit. Okay, the still type. They're calling it Huichol Alembic. I've not heard that phrasing before. I've heard alembic, I've heard copper pot, I've heard, olla de barro, which we actually have one. One of the next expressions we'll be tasting has a barro to it. The alcohol, the ABV is 45, is what it says on the back of the label. The front of the label says 47. So más o menos between 45 and 47. Okay. Hey, wait till we show you the picture of the Maestro Raicero. He, God, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hate it when I mess up my Spanish. The liters produced, they only produced 1,000 liters of this. This is beautiful, Alex. I mean, every Raicilla that we've had so far has been different.
Yeah.
It really is true what they say. It's the hand of the maker that counts. Look at the bubbles on that baby. Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. There's perlas. Look how they linger on
That's beauty.
Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. And wow.
Like Mike loves his bubbles.
I love my bubbles. The shampoo bubbles, man. Okay. Rosalio's nickname is Chalio Rodriguez, and this apparently this is from the POS. This is what the gentleman looks like. And dude, he looks like an old timer moonshiner. He and this is his tank. This is let me explain what his method is. This is the Madurado de la Costa. Every year since 2004, Rosalio has reserved a bit of rhodocantha to add to a treasure tank of old Raicilla. He recently filled a small barrel with it, held it for a month, and filled 559 bottles, average age more than 7 years. There is nothing like it made from agaves. Complex and mellow, 47.7% ABV. The suggested retail price is $92, and that's a 750. I'm really surprised that we're getting 750s because look at that. And this is obviously a hand blown bottle. I mean, you can tell it's from a hand blown from a mold. Alex, I don't even know what to say. There's I don't want to break it either, but this is a substantial bottle, let me tell you. But I was expecting more aggression, because of what we had with Raicilla de Una, but it's very subtle. I mean, all of it. The nose is very subtle, lots of layers. The palate, the intake. I love the pepper. but it's different from the tequila pepper. It's not, it's not hot pepper. It, I don't even know. Have you got a bar for this? Because I don't.
it's very to me it's very earthy. It's very it's nice. It's nice to just sip it. Just sit with it and sip it.
Hmm.
Reminds me a lot of the family of Sotol, kind of like the Sotol, related to the Sotol family. Obviously,
Yes.
these are all cousins, but very earthy, very to me, it's just like a very natural spirit. That's what's
Yeah.
attracted me to this. You got the citrus notes, you got the earthy notes, a lot of wood notes. Granted, it's not having it hasn't touched wood, so obviously it's all plant.
It's
It's all the
yeah.
agave and how they roast it.
It's
So
the it's
it's
the.
pretty amazing.
I wish they would tell us more about how the fermentation works, and I'm sure that there's information out there. We just didn't get it. It's just not in,
Yeah, it's
it's
probably
not.
with that open fermentation, you're probably getting yeast from, the terroir around it. If they've got fruit trees or other things around there, that's
Well,
probably.
here's the one thing that I thought was very interesting is that he okay Rosario of El Tuito in mountainous Cabo Corriente on the Pacific coast distills his soleras from wild and cultivated agave rotacantha, spicy. That's it, spicy and nicely vegetal. So it's a vegetal, but it leans more toward that woodsy
Yeah,
vegetal. He interplants with corn. In our experience, there's always some cross fertilization.
there you go.
His distillates are rich, and that's I will agree with that. I will agree that there's some sort of I don't think I ever tasted I didn't taste the Sierra del Norte whiskey with you. I actually tasted that with Rick, and that was from heirloom corn that was coming from the folks who make Scorpion.
Nice.
And I understood. It was the first time I'd ever had whiskey where I tasted the corn. Because you don't normally taste American whiskey. It's
Right,
corn liquor. You
right.
don't taste the corn. You can literally taste the corn in his whiskeys, and I get the cross pollination. I think the richness of that whiskey reminds me of the richness um, in this Raicilla.
Yeah.
Wow. Um,
You know what I'm getting now?
what's that?
Some other spices now. Granted, my glass is practically empty. I only have like a drop, and I'm getting kind of like Indian spices.
Oh, like curry or something,
Like
right?
curry. There you go.
Yeah,
Curry.
yeah. I know what you mean too, because I have like a I don't know if you can see this, folks. I have
Yeah.
I have the older version
Oh,
of the yeah. It's just the less you have in your glass, the more you start to pull out of it.
wow.
Generally speaking, with mezcals, you get a lot of that. Oh my goodness.
Good stuff. Now I don't know where to get this. Old Town doesn't have it. They've
The,
got
the,
other flavors of Balam.
yeah, we this was sent to us. I think Central or Northern California, up by Redwood City, and I'm not sure who's carrying it up there. The name of the company is Alambec Inc., and I'm wondering if that is the importer. Wow, this stuff is a treasure. If you've never had Raicilla and you want to try it,
Wow.
and you don't, if you've had a few mezcals at this point and you got a lot of flavor, a lot of experience under your belt, this is this is going to surprise you because it's way more gentle than I thought it would be.
Yeah. And it's not skull either. It doesn't have any smoke in it.
No, no, not at all. No smoke at all. It's not. I got no bar, but it's a brand of promise nominee.
I was gonna say we better nominate this one.
Oh, this
This
is
is
outstanding.
fantastic. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so before
I get that
before
tropical fruit. I'm getting the tropical fruits. The herbs, I guess the herbs must be what the Indian spices I'm smelling.
yeah, it's got to be. It has to be.
Even ashy notes. I guess that's all from the roasting.
Yeah, you know the best thing to do for this is to pour as less as possible. If you're using a jarrito or a Glencairn, or if you have, I was going to pull out my Glencairn for Canadian blended whiskey because I used to love that, using that one for mezcal because it's a wider mouth and you
Yeah,
didn't need a whole lot to get a lot out of it. But oh my gosh, this is such
good.
a treat. First of all, thanks for the folks at Balam for making this
Yeah.
happen. Wow, we are.
Balam apparently means jaguar in Mayan.
Oh, is that what it means? Oh
Yeah,
well.
that's why you got the jaguar.
Hey man, I wow, but it's really a pussycat. So, but anyway, uh,
Good stuff. Look for
get
it.
Balam. Get yourself a bottle of this.
Look for
Look
it.
it up, boys and girls. And if you've had it, if you've tasted it before, and you're watching this on YouTube, please send us a write in the comments. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, hey, reach out, touch us. Send us an email. But that's our take on Balam. Stick with us. We've got the other two expressions
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah.
I'm
Let
Mike
us know.
Morales. Yeah, I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy out there is.
Alex Perez. Thanks for watching Sipping Off the Cuff, and as always, sip wisely.